I think we start right now, and I think as more people will join, they will enter into the meeting and understand the discussion. So once again, a very happy good morning to everyone. Welcome to the webinar on IBM Career Education organized by Amstar in association with IBM India. This is a very important topic in the current times. How do we enable our students to excel in their lives? Okay, how do you let their potential break free? As you know that this generation which is in the college right now is the Gen Z, or they are called as Zoomers, those who are born after 1997. I am sure most of the students who are studying in the college are born in this century. Okay, almost everyone who is in an undergraduate. And this generation is one of the most tech savvy generation. They have been born with the mobile, they have grown up with the media, and technically they are very, very ahead of anyone in the previous generation. So they require the best of the education to be enabled to get into the careers once they complete their education. And that's why we are here. I'm Anand from Amstar Technology. I manage the enterprise training business for the company. And with us, we have our director, Mr. Joseph Jaikumar, and our operations head, Kalyan, and our training coordinator, Sandhya. And we also have two IBM career education leaders, Mr. Devkant Agrawal and Mr. Madhusudan. And it's an opportunity for us to interact with them and understand from them how IBM plays a big role in career education worldwide and in India. Okay. So before we get started, I will just give a brief overview of Amstar Technologies so that we understand how we are here. Okay, Amstar Technologies is a 15 years old IT services organization based out of Bangalore. And it started off in 2005. And at that time, the objective was mainly to support the telecommunication industry that was growing and provide them with trained manpower. But over a period, it has transformed into a complete IT services organization. And in the last 6 years, we have been partners with IBM for their enterprise training. And we deliver enterprise training to customers worldwide. And in the last 6 to 7 years, we have delivered 1,000+ trainings to companies in over 50 countries. So we very well understand IBM training, and we have been working very closely with IBM through Aero, who is our partner in UK. Okay. And so just to get a little bit, as I told you, we are a 15 years old organization, ISO 9001 2015 certified. And our main business domains are IT learning solutions with special focus on IBM learning, lateral IT staffing, IT products and sales and consulting, and training facility management. And we offer our services to corporates, institutions, and individuals. And the best part is we have a pool of very highly qualified technical resources who are industry subject experts who help us deliver the quality of services. Now, over last 15 years, Amstar Technologies has won several awards and accolades. But I think the biggest of all of them came in November last year, just 3 months back, when trainingindustry.com, which is one of the most trusted global source of information on the business of training, has ranked us in the top 20 in the world. Okay. So they published two lists, top 20 training companies and top 20 watch list companies. So we are in the top 20 watch list company for the year 2020, published in November last year. And we are happy to announce that in India, we are the only country to come in this list. Now, why we are all here, that is the reason why we are having this webinar. Okay. Because we have IBM here with us to help us understand what is IBM career education all about. Okay. And now, why are we looking at this stage? Okay, because I don't have to say this because you are all leaders in your institutions and you understand academics better than anyone. Okay, But just to get the background or the context correctly, the biggest reason today we are all here is the skill gap. Okay, the reality in India, and that's affecting hiring. Okay, now a study by government in the Hindu business line, which was published last year, says that about 46% of the students are only employable, which means more than half of our students are not employable at the end of the education. So, what is that causing this thing? And it is the skill gap. If I put it very simply, skill gap is the disconnect that exists between the skills needed by the organizations and the capabilities in its current or future workforce. Here we are talking about the future workforce. The future workforce does not have the skills which the organizations are looking for. Like today, like a recent LinkedIn report says that blockchain, artificial intelligence, robotic process automation, Internet of Things, full stack development are some of the top in demand IT skills. Now, are the students coming out of the colleges having skills in these areas? That's the question. Okay, industry wants them, but not every student who comes out has good skills in these areas. So, how do we equip our students with the skills in demand? Okay, that is where the education that is imparted in the colleges should give industry specific and market relevant education so that the students are able to take up the job opportunities. And the most important part in this is developing capabilities from foundation level. It is not that in the final semester the student will learn all the skills and be ready for the job. It has to start from the first semester. How do you build the skills from the first semester and take it to the final year when the student becomes ready to get into the industry? And that's where IBM Career Education comes in. And IBM Career Education has partnered with various colleges and universities in India and helped a lot of students and faculty members pan India. Okay. So, given this background, I would not take much time and come in between you and the IBM experts. And I invite Mr. Devkant Agrawal to continue the discussion and take this forward. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Anand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you for that. I was just unmuting myself. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. Out of, I was asking Anand, there are so many webinars happening and there are so many online events happening. Are you sure we are already not doing it overload? So he said, no, we are pretty confident that people will turn up. So once again, thank you, because I understand for the last 1 year, it has not been an easy year for any one of us, and especially for the academia. I must, congratulate all of you. The way, not only in schools or colleges or any other institution of learning, I would say it has been a tremendous journey for the last 1.5 years, right? So really salute all of you to hold the flag high in whichever institute you are. You have kept the ball rolling with the students. The learning has not stopped. There may be glitches that the people are not able to access, or they're not able to join some classes and other things. But I think what we don't realize is that we have been able to save 1 year of precious 1 year of those students, and where nothing is moving but collective effort of all of you have saved that year. And that's, I am pretty sure that they will realize later in their life that how important this continuation of services from all of you have been. So I think big thanks and big congratulations to all of you. And on that note, I would like to sort of take our conversation forward from here. So my name is Devkant. I'm part of IBM Career Education team. I'm joined by my colleague Madhusudan, who's the regional manager for South and West in IBM. And we are very happy to have this opportunity to interact with all of you. So thanks to Amstar to have put together this webinar. I'll just share my slide with you. What we are going to cover today is a brief intro about what IBM does in the skilling business, and what do we do, what have we been doing in the past 10 or 20 years rather, and what is our way forward, right? In the sense that how are we engaging, what are the various different engagement models and other things. So this is what I'll be sort of covering in the next 30 minutes. And I would want to keep it very interactive. So the moment you feel that there is a question in your minds, please don't wait for the entire PPT to get over. I would like to take a question then and there if you have any doubt or any questions which is coming to your mind. So that's the way. So if you are okay, if I have your permission, can I start, Anand? Okay. So in a nutshell, IBM started in 1991 after we had gone out in 71, if I'm not wrong, or 78. And our journey actually started with TCS, if I'm not wrong. And from there on, in 2098, I think it became a separate company within the India sphere. And one thing which we realized early on is that skills will always play a very major role in terms of how IBM operates in the country, and how IBM operates not only in the country but worldwide actually. So we have different avatars of reaching out in the academia. Some of you might have heard about academic initiatives, some of you might have heard about university relations, and this is a team which is called as career education. Now, in 2001, we started with academic initiative, and in 2011, we started with career education. And in 2011, we realized that there has to be a more structured approach to how we are engaging with the colleges, right? So we said, okay, we will not just focus on students, we will have faculties and developer ecosystem as well into our foray. And earlier on, we were only, sort of having our engagements with engineering colleges as primary set of students. But then you would have realized that now the background of the student or the certificates or the degrees are not really counting as much, but what is really counting is what are the skills that they have. So we have been sort of expanding our reach not only to engineering but to other degree diploma colleges as well, and of course covering the MBA, BBA colleges from a business domain perspective. So that's from a target audience perspective. And needless to say, I think the primary objective of career education was to create deep skills, right? In the sense that we wanted skills not just for ourselves, but for our partners, for our customers, for our ISVs, SIs, everywhere. We needed those skills to survive, because there are certain technologies which need specific skill set to be there to be servicing your client. And Anand and Kalyan would know it better than me that what is the deficit at the corporate level, not just talk about the academic level, right? Second is the branding part of it. So other thing which we realized is that very honestly, people still brand IBM with the servers and the mainframes actually. So we we wanted to see if people are associating ourselves from the software and the phenomenal work which IBM has done in the software space, right? So that is part of the branding piece. And of course, it is not a free program, it's a cost revenue, it's a revenue recovery or a cost recovery program rather, I would say. So because that's a change we brought in 2011. We said, okay, nothing doing free, because sometimes it's not valued as much as when there is a small cost attached to it and people take it more seriously. And I think we saw that shift from 2011 when we did that. Last but not the least, the areas in which we operate, right? So I'll cover this slide more into in the next chart. See, this is what I wanted to bring to your focus. We started in 2011, right? We were more very products specific training. We said, okay, we'll do training on Rational, DB2, and we'll do Java, C, and other things, right? From there on, in 2014, honestly, we started our first program in analytics. And believe me not, people said, what are you talking about? Why do you read analytics as a program? And we said, this is not for 2014. When students, graduate in 2018, they'll need this. They said, no, this is something which is very advanced. People don't want this, and there is no requirement of this. And then in 2018, 19, you were already aware. There's nothing to say that. Point I'm trying to make is that we know what is the curve coming ahead. So we know what to pitch or what to take to the academia years ahead of when we realize that this is something needed. 2017-18, we started with blockchain. Honestly, I would say that not much traction has still happened. But you will see 2021, 2022. There'll be much more traction on the blockchain. Already there is an increase in the traction part of it. And in 2021, we have just started with quantum computing. So you will not hear this terminology today, even maybe next 2 years, you will not hear it much. But come 4 years, 5 years down the line, there'll be a lot of skills required in quantum computing. And we have the right material day one today, which we can share with you, we can engage with you and, train and other things. Point I'm trying to make is, and just sort of expanding on what Anand said, is that this is not that we can start on final year only. We have to start year one to see how we graduate from skills building. There needs to be some basic training, intermediate training, and some advanced training. So the landscape of technology is expanding tremendously. Earlier, it was just computer science. Now it is computer science with data, in specialization with data science, in specialization with AI, specialization with cybersecurity and others. And as your partner in crime, we will help you whole 9 yards, how to take this forward. And my next slide sort of covers that part. So this is if you were to ask, what do we do? This is in a nutshell, this is what we do, right? We have something called as a digital platform. For a layman language, it is LMS. With some basic features which is there. We are not selling LMS honestly, but this is just to say that we have some platform where student will access some content there, right? Then of course is the content part of it, right? What do you learn? So if tomorrow, right, if Anand or Kalyan are saying, you should start cybersecurity training with us, your next question will be, okay, what in cybersecurity, right? So that is your next obvious question, right? So the content plays a very central role in what do we do, how do we engage, and what is our philosophy or pedagogy, right? So we have content from basic data science, AI/ML, blockchain, cloud security, the usual suspects. And I'll speak more about them. I'll spend a lot of time on that part of it. Then I think the next question is that, okay, who will train? I mean, I'm not trained on these technologies. This is something which is, you are creating it, and then I don't know how to train this. And will you come and train? Will you train our faculties, or will you directly train our students? So all of the models are available. Depending upon how deep you want to have an engagement with us, all of these models are available. We can come train directly. We can come train your faculty. We can, sort of come, as I said, do some online classes or other things. So we can be off the limits. You can say, oh, you just give us the content. We don't want the rest. Fine with us, not a problem. But intermediary, if you want certain help from us, we are there online as well, right? And last but not the least, people ask us, open source is fine, but what about the software? Where do I work? What is the real hands-on exercise or lab exercises where I will really learn this? So the same software or access of software which I would give to, HSBC or Greenlays or SBI or any retail, Walmart or anyone, same software access you will get. Same. There is no academic version of software which IBM has. Right? We don't have a Chotu version saying that okay, this is for academia and this is for enterprise. No, nothing like that. Right? You get the same software access, and we design these lab exercises based upon those software access itself. So from a broad perspective, this is what we offer. You can pick and choose where you want to go, but this is in a nutshell. And my further slides will only go deeper into this. So I'll take a pause if there is any question you want to ask, and before moving forward. Okay. So like I said, I'll just spend a few more minutes on the content side of it. We have 7 basic tracks: the AI, cloud, full stack, blockchain, data science, IoT, security, and we have a mixture of them also available. So, for example, one of the very popular sort of track is cloud and security, right? Another very popular track is AI and IoT. So these can be combined also in terms of how we sort of design these learning path or design these curriculum, if I may use those words in the academic parlance. So next question is that how do we sort of execute this entire program, right? So phase 1 is that we train the faculty. We say, okay, there is a faculty development program which will be done. If you want to skip the faculty development program, we're fine with it. But the important part in this chart, which has just come in, is the non-IT student part of it. So sometimes faculty or the student or the colleges ask us that there's a lot which is going on in the computer science space, but what about my mechanical student, or what about my civil student, or what about my electrical student, right? I mean, they also need certain trainings on the IT perspective, because IT is now becoming a general language actually, which at least from conversation perspective, people should know what is cloud, what is analytics, and things like that. So what IBM has done is that we have curated courses which are very specific for non-IT students. So it doesn't go as deep, honestly, right? So these are short-term programs, half an hour to 2 hours to 5-hour courses, which anybody can do. Even BSc and BCom students can also do. If you have certain courses in your institute, I'm just saying, they can also sort of cater to them. So we have an entire range, a different range for computer science, and then a different range for the non-IT students, if I may say, broadly sort of generalize that. Of course, once we have some sort of a training, or we have identified the trainers, then there is the access to the content depending upon which sector or which domain you want to go with. You want to go with the big data or cloud, or you want to have everything combined. You want to let the students choose what do they want to learn. We have those models also, right? So it is so much customizable that you'll be surprised that you say, okay, this is what I need, ABC. You can pick up anything from there, and you can skip anything from our buffet, and you can have everything if you want everything also, right? Over and above the content and the training part, which was not there in the previous slide, is something called as a concept of COE, if I may use that word, or software lab, we want to call it. And these activities are over and above what we do as a training and content piece, training content and software piece rather. So these are called guided learnings, if you may want to call it, the hackathons and the masterclass and industry visits. So people ask us most of the time that, can I come and see your data center? We said, okay, sure, why not? So we have a huge data center, and of course, these are not the best times to invite you. I will be more than happy to invite you in our data center in Bangalore. But one thing is you know about server farms and other things. We don't have those facilities in India to show. But I'm just saying that at least a data center can give a student a perspective that what is it really, where this entire processing happens, right? What does cloud in in a physical manifestation it is seen as. I mean, it's really not a virtual thing, right? I mean, there is a physical thing to cloud what we say. So the data center gives you that perspective, and then interaction with the IBM SMEs also gives you a very different perspective of what you've been learning with the faculties at your esteemed colleges. So industry visits and IBM days and online workshop, ask me anything questions. So these are some of the add-ons. If you have enough and more students from your college, we'll be more than happy to support these activities with you. So I'll go a little bit deeper in the IT students, if you allow me, or if there is any question, I can just take a pause for 10 seconds more. Okay, I think we need one sort of someone to just say hello, and probably then others will also ask a question. So it doesn't become that, okay, I should not be the first one to ask. But anyway, if there is no question, then I am a good communicator probably.
Yeah, anyone, yes, any questions, anything that you would like to know more about these things, please feel free. You can also put it in the chat.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
can we can take it up from the chat also if there are any questions. Thank you.
Okay, let me just sort of take you sort of go deeper into the learning path which you were talking about, and I'll show you a sample which we have prepared. So we have something called as foundation courses, in the sense that people who would learn these courses would be in first year and second year. And then we have something called as practitioner badge courses, which are typically done in second year and third year, or fourth year also, I would say. And then some advanced courses which are done in third year and fourth year, right? So this is how I would sort of categorize them. Foundation courses, no brainers. These are the sort of database or foundation coding languages and other things. Practitioner badge courses are more about to give you a landscape about technology on data science or cyber security. We have 8 practitioner courses available with us. These are from 40 hours to 70 hours, 75 hours. And advanced courses is basically to go deeper into one technology. So for example, if you're going AI, so what is deep learning, what is machine learning and other things, right? So NLP, what is NLP and other things. So advanced courses which cover those kind of subjects. Taking an example of AI. So this is just an example of a learning path. Suppose you do a tie-up with us for 4 years, then foundation courses will, from a data science perspective, foundation courses will be something on data visualization, Python, and they will be spread across first year and second year. And then the practitioner badge courses which we have, and then of course the advanced courses. Let me just show you an actual learning path. Just give me a second. Yeah. Can you see my screen? I know it is small. I'm just expanding it. Is it visible?
A little bit more.
A little bit more. Okay. So this is it good? Okay, thank you. So this is the track which we suggest to a college or an institute for doing a data science track, right? Now, some of the courses you would see are self-learning. Sorry. And some of them are instructor-led actually, right? And this is a practitioner badge course which I was talking about.
तो हम लोग पर्सनल ले लेते हैं.
So, thank you. And if you see this on the left hand side, you have the semester 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So for an entire 8 years, 8 semesters, we have 670 hours of courses which are there. This is just a sample. I mean, not all of it will be. Now you could pick and choose that, okay, this is not relevant or other things, but this is just to give you an example, right? Now, what happens is that there are colleges who can change their curriculum. There are colleges who are not able to change their curriculum. So you can pick and choose. You can say, okay, this is, I don't know, this is too, this looks too much. So I just want to pick a few, and I want to give this to the students. So we can pick few. We can pick one also from each semester. We can just say, okay, I just want to do instructor-led training content with you. You just give us the content, we'll do the training. You give us content and training, we'll do that. You don't like data science, which is fine. We can do AI/ML course with you. Sorry, this is the one. We can do that. We can create a cybersecurity track for you. We can create a cloud track also for you. Let me just show you this. This is a typical sort of BTech CSC specialization curriculum, which looks like. If you have the ability to change your curriculum, if you are an autonomous or a private engineering college, we can suggest, work with you, what courses we can change and we can offer from our perspective, right? So we can say, okay, computer aided engineering graphics probably is not needed, and we can suggest some more courses which are relevant for a particular track which you would like to take as artificial intelligence. So we help you design your entire curriculum for 4 years so that it looks structured, and when a student comes out after 4 years, he or she has a definitive skill, a deep skill, which we would say, in that track, right? So this is how we go, at this level we go, and we also sort of help faculty design question papers, and in first few years we also help them evaluate that, actually, to be honest, because it takes a lot of hand holding in terms of, when you're adopting something new. So the purpose of showing this sheet is that if you want to go with any of these tracks, and we have something similar for cloud and IoT and blockchain as well, we are happy to help you there. Any questions?
There are a few questions in the chat. Sorry.
Let me just see the chat. Okay.
Sorry.
How do we convince non-IT student to check out subjects like blockchain? Okay, so I think one of the basic example I can give you is that we were talking to a BCom college who is running BCom, and they said, our students go into accounting and they do CA and CS, but what is happening is that the supply chain management, which is being affected by blockchain adoptability, they want to know some basics. So I think we need to give them some real life example as to why and where you will need blockchain, actually. If you want us to do a small session on blockchain, we'll be more than happy to do that. But people will understand this more when we tell them a real life example. That's what I would say from a non-IT student perspective. That is one. Second is, I think, like I said, IT is becoming more like a basic, knowledge. So it's just like English, actually, to be very honest, right? And you should know certain basic terminologies, and you are not far away from technology. Your technology actually lies in your pocket as a mobile phone, right? So we may not realize we are using cloud technology there. We are using analytics. We are using IoT, to be honest, in that one single device which we handhold. So we are not far from technology, actually. So I think this is what we need to communicate to the students. Okay, we are VTU affiliated institution. How will this work? Okay, so I think, like I was saying, there are two ways, actually. So one is that you integrate the entire of these courses with your curriculum. But if you're not a private institution or an autonomous institution, what you can do is you can add these syllabus as a value add, in the sense that over and above your courses. Other way to do it is that, let me just show you an example. So for example, I'm assuming that even VTU has some Java course or Python course, right? Or some data visualization course. You can use our content and teach this as a course to your student. That is also possible. I think Anna University just got data science and AI as a specialization included. I'm not too sure about video if you have specialization courses now from a university perspective, but we could cover some of those topics via our content. So that is another way to do it. Does that answer, Professor Lakshman, your question? Sorry, I can't hear. Sorry. Anand, can you hear? Sorry.
No, we can't hear.
I think he was saying something, but I don't think we are able to hear.
You can maybe, if there's any audio problem,
మళ్ళీ క్లాస్కి వెళ్ళి అనౌన్స్ చేశాను మొన్న లిస్ట్.
yeah.
IBM లో వాళ్ళిద్దరు కలిసి జాయిన్ టెక్నాలజీ.
Hello.
Okay, I think let's take the question from Mr. Rajiv. Can you brief about the investments by the institute for having a COE? So, Mr. Rajiv, Professor Rajiv, more than happy to share it, but I think on an open forum it will be difficult because there are a lot of combinations by which you can have a COE. So I would request if Anand, or if you can touch base with Professor Rajiv to take this conversation offline. We'll be more than happy to have a discussion, Professor Rajiv, with you.
Sure, I will do that.
There are various combinations, Professor Rajiv, actually. So I think that needs a little bit more, separate discussion.
Yeah, this is Professor Karthik from BV Raj Institute of Technology. I'm representing Dr. Lakshmi Prasad, the principal of this institution. Very nice to see the course-wise, semester-wise curriculum for various specializations, data science, AI, security, and other latest technologies. For your kind information, we are an autonomous institute, and we design our curriculum on our own. And this year we have got 3 new specializations. For undergraduation, BTech Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning. The second one is BTech Data Science, and third one is in collaboration with TCS, that is Computer Science and Business Systems, BTech CSBS. So as I said, we are an autonomous institution. We design our own curriculum, and we have framed along with the core courses. We do have professional electives and open electives also. So, but the question is already the frame of the structure. The students learn all these courses throughout the 8 semesters, and everything is set. But the courses which you are proposing, or the sample courses which you have displayed, so how to take up aligning with the actual existing courses for the students throughout 4 years, and what about the credit transfer? Because the AICT, I think as far as the permissions from the AICT are concerned, only the courses which are offered through SWAYAM NPTEL are only considered for credit transfer. So what about these courses if in collaboration with IBM, if we take up, because some are self-learning, some are instructor-led courses and all those things. So what about the credit transfer if we take up these courses in addition to the academic council?
Yeah, so from an online perspective, you're right that only from AICT certain courses are allowed, but there are certain courses which you can change, if I'm not wrong, if you have the ability to do the so. So you can design your curriculum, and some of the colleges where we are engaged, they do the credit transfer for these courses as well to their students. So there is a proper exam done by the faculty or the college, if I may say so, and they are evaluated, and then based upon the marks that the credit transfer happens. That is
yes, I think it becomes easy for a university, but I don't think so it is possible for an autonomous.
Correct. That's what I said. So for an autonomous institute, you're right. The transfer may not be that easy because you have to take all sorts of permission, or probably it is not allowed. For a university, it is easy. For private universities which are there. So we have seen that also happening, where these courses which we have suggested, they have a credit attached to them. But for an autonomous, again, you can have it in their course curriculum and as an add-on, but you can still have them as a structured approach. It's not that you can have it just for first year and second year. You can have it for entire 4 years and see that how they learn these subjects. Probably if you're not able to change much, then you can choose a smaller sort of access, in the sense lesser access to all of this, right? You don't need to impose upon all of these content to be learned by the student. You can say, okay, these are mandatory, these are not mandatory. Something like that we can do.
Yes, I think, and moreover, from this academic year onwards, apart from the regular BTech degree, we are offering additional honors and minors degrees. So I think we can incorporate some of these courses as a part of those specializations for honors or either minors. I think we have to think of that.
So if what I understand is that if a student does 1 year course and they get some minor and
for getting additional honors or minors degrees, apart from the regular course of 160 credits, the student has to undergo 20 credit courses. So we have designed 5 courses, each for 4 credits, and 20 credits courses he has to complete before he completes his 4-year degree. That will be a eligibility criteria for getting an additional degree.
The other thing is that I think in the new education policy, people will be allowed at certain point of time to exit from first year, second year. This exit in, exit out. So this will also give you that flexibility actually. So you can consider these courses to be added on there, because extra number of hours are needed to do so, if I'm not wrong. So if your institute is planning to implement NEP anytime soon.
Already the students are fully packed up with 11 regular courses per 10 or 11 regular courses per semester, add-on courses, open electives and minors. So that's what, because almost all courses are being equipped in the regular curriculum. So what we can do, we have to think of. But anyways, apart from this AI, ML, data science, and as you said, we can go for blockchain or security or any other sort of thing as an add-on program or something like that. We can work on that.
Yeah.
And second query, I think Mr. Anand might be knowing this. As you are aware, IBM COE long back, BVRAT had IBM Center of Excellence, and it was awarded the best IBM COE in the country for twice also consecutive years in the long back, way back of 2014-15. So I think now some reinitiation has to be made to bring it back to limelight and all those things. So after this session, or might be a comfortable time, we can discuss on that, so that we can make it again get back to its original position.
Sure. Okay. Any other questions from anyone? Before I move forward with my slides.
Yeah, I think there are no other questions in the chat.
Okay. Unable to hear the voice. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, so that was about the IT part of it. This is I'm just going to take a few minutes on the non-IT students, which is the electrical or BCom or MBA, BBA, whatever you may want to categorize them into. So what we have done is, like I said, we have curated courses which are specifically for non-IT students, and we have marked them as 3 layers. One is Explorer, Innovator, and Newcomer. Explorer is like a 30 minutes course, short term, just to get them excited about what the course is. Innovator makes them think about that technology a little bit more, as to, if they are getting excited about Explorer. By the way, they can leave at Explorer also. So it's okay. So they can just know about a little bit basics, and that's about it. So not interested, fine, no problem. But if they have the curiosity to go further, they can go into innovator badges also. And they can learn a little bit more about them. These are 2 to 5 hours of courses. And again, these are on cloud, blockchain, some basic fundamentals of it. But then if you find that there are students who are interested, even in non-IT, we have seen a lot of people getting, interested in getting to learn more deeper. So we have courses in the new collar also category. So they are around 8 to 10 hour courses, which will take you a little bit more deeper, but they're not as complex still as what you would take a data visualization or a AI or data science guy from a computer science background, right? If after new collar also a student says, no, I want to learn more.
Next page. Okay. So now we just copy those.
Sorry? Okay, I guess it was not for us. So what I'm saying is that even after new caller, if a non-IT student, you feel that they still have the inquisitiveness to learn more, then we have to shift that students to the computer science sort of track, which we just showed you. So just like the learning path which I showed you for the computer science, we have learning path for non-IT students also. Like I said, people would.
No, we said if I use a deep flip flop, it's D1. For us, D1 is nothing but Y1.
Can you just put people on mute, maybe, if it is possible? Yeah.
Okay. So let's start implementing this. So how we implement it?
Dr. Venu, can you mute, please?
So, Sandhya, can you please mute anybody who is unmute?
Yeah, thank you. So just like in IT, you have learning path. In non-IT also, we have learning path. We have an extensive course of 54 hours, which comprises of 15 courses in the coding and web application development. That's one of the simple courses which we have. Then if a student wants to learn about cloud, you start with half an hour course on introduction to cloud and then getting started with IBM cloud and other things, right? So it takes you to DevOps, Cloud Foundry, cloud database, some basic fundamental things, right? So this is what to take them on to the cloud part of it. So in the cloud journey, we have 10 courses and we have it's total up to 31 hours. The good thing about non-IT learning path is you get access to all of them in one go. So if you take an access from us for one student, the student does not get access only just for cloud or blockchain or data science or AI. They get access to all the learning path at one go. So that is one advantage which we have from a non-IT perspective, actually, right? Students want to learn, they want to know little bit about everything, actually, right? So that's little bit of advantage there. In the blockchain, like you say, I mean, introduction to blockchain, build your own car auction applications, so small things which will keep them excited, actually, right? So this is very visual and very hands-on, I would say, for non-IT. Okay, I think with this we have. So, what is the expectation from the institute is that there's no limit on the course content access. You let us know what is the model you want to adopt with us. We would want a minimum set of students. 500 is a good number for us to begin with, but if you have some smaller number also, we'll be ready to discuss that. We typically do a multi-year agreement so that it's not just a transaction between IBM and the college. Of course, in this case, it will be through Amstar. All the contracts will be done through Amstar. And all you need from a hardware requirement is a good 4 GB or a 8 GB computer with the internet. That's all we would require. And if you need certain software, like I said, software comes along with this, then they will be installed in your servers which you may have. So those configurations which we can share once we take a few steps forward from here. By the way, if you have 1,000 students, there are some additional benefits which I had mentioned, the hackathons and Ask Me Anything and other things. If you have more than 1,000, then few other things can also come into play. So more the number of students, better the facilities or the services. I would say more number, not better, more number of services from IBM will be there. How can you get 500, 750,000 students? So this is just one of the ways which we thought you can adjust them into projects, you can adjust them into finishing schools, so minor specialization, integrate into your curriculum. You can do some value add to these students, and they could come from left side any background, actually, right? So it's up to you to decide how that number can be reached, right? So this is just one of the examples. Now what I hear is that projects are to be done after every year. It's not just in my time, it was only in only after in 4th year, actually. Now it is every year, actually. It is mandatory, so which is good. But then where do you get all these projects from, right? I mean, who will solve, who will curate, who will evaluate? So all of this, I mean, we can help you the whole 9 yards, like I said, right, in the entire journey. Just a reiteration of the steps. Phase 1 is faculty development program. We do the partnership agreement, do the training, set up the lab, and phase 2 is the student training. This could be either done by your faculty, it could be done by our faculty. Either ways, these are the phases which we have. Just a reiteration of the things which we can do for the students. We can do IBM Day Masterclass, demos, industry visits. For faculties, continuous updating of the content, which you may take it to your students, assessment questions, evaluation. We can create learning path for you. We can design the curriculum for you and all those things. And by the way, there are a lot of IBM T3 trainings which keep happening at IBM. So I'm just going to take a sneak peek into that as well. And for the college, of course, we have the branding, we have the setup of the lab, the college name comes up on ibm.com, and a lot of other marketing benefits that we can offer, right? So this is for each segment of your institute. For student, faculty, and university, we have something to offer. This is the kind of branding which you get if you set up a lab. We are working on redesign of this, but up until now, this is what it was. It's a co-branded lab signage which you get, which you can use on outside your physical lab of, which you designate for IBM. This is the kind of certificate which a student gets. This is for each individual course which a student will get, and issued by your college name will come in. Whatever college name, esteemed college name which you come from, this is how it will be. And there will be 2 signatures. One will be on the left-hand side, second will be on the right side. So one signature will be from IBM and second signature will be from the college. Okay, so let me just take a shot at the T3 trainings which we are doing in 2021. So these are for the practitioner batch. Remember the practitioner batch which I talked about, 40 hours to 75 hours. We are currently closing in on the 25th, 26th March of the nominations, but you could still apply for the 9th April training. The only requirement for applying is that you should have a minimum of 50 students whom you will teach practitioner courses from IBM. So, and your nomination comes in at free of cost. So you don't have to pay anything. It's just that you should pay for 50 students. You meaning college should pay for 50 students of voucher cost. Each voucher costs you around 2,500 rupees only. So that's the, so this is the entire set of, training calendar. It will get, further enriched as we move on, but this is what the visibility which we have. If you have an engagement with IBM, these trainings come to you free of cost. You don't have to, do a separate Skills Academy training cost or vouchers for IBM. If you have any sort of engagement with IBM through Amstar, this will come, all of these, you can send one faculty to each one of these trainings free of cost, not a problem. All right, so I will stop my presentation here, and if there are any remaining questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. I hope I was on time.
Yeah, time. Hello. Yes. Yeah. Any questions? Anyone? Maybe you could show that slide on the T3.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are, I think, Devkant has shared the different ways of engagement for the student and the type of institution, whether it is affiliated or deemed or autonomous, can have different implications. But yes, of course, we can work on those and provide solutions, because IBM has the experience of working with all types of colleges across the country. So there are already examples of affiliated colleges, autonomous colleges, and even any other type of colleges implementing this IBM education. So if you face any challenge or if you have any queries, we can help address it here, or even later you can contact us. Okay, any questions that anyone has? If you have time, so we can go through them.
So there are, when there is no question, it only means either it was not at all understandable or it was too good that there is no question actually. So
yeah, there is one question from Ms. Sahana Joy. She's asking if we can get this presentation. It will be useful for us to discuss with the higher management. Or how do we get in touch with you? Sahana, you can get in touch with us at training@amstar.in. Okay, or call us on my number. I will just share, and we can discuss this further.
actually, every college will have a different requirement, frankly. So it is, like I said, it is very customizable. So even if you think that you want X, Y, Z, or only X, or only Y, or only Z, more than happy to help. There is no restriction on any sort of, numbers or the engagement or other things. Feel free to reach out to
Yeah,
us.
there is another question. Can students directly register for a specific course? Mr. Lakshman, Professor Lakshman.
Professor Lakshman, we do not have a B2C model, honestly, because IBM is not into B2C in the training as of today. So you're asking if I have a portal where they can, if you have 5 or 10 students, where can they log in, right? I think that would be your question. So as of today, no. But certainly, I'm sure if you have some fewer number of students, you can let Amstar know, because maybe like you, there are other students in other colleges. So we can start some virtual batch, combining them, all of them together. And Amstar has a lot of capability that way, because that's the bread and butter, right? I mean, having fewer students or fewer learners from each corporate, or so we can replicate that model in the academia also. Not a problem.
Yes, just to add, Professor Lakshman, like if you have about 50 students at your college also, like we can run a course for you. Okay, so you can select the courses that you want for your institution, and we can work out a solution for that. It's not that you have to take the complete package as Devkant had shared. It's also possible to take a particular course or a couple of courses and then uh, use it for your students.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any questions? Okay.
Can't hear.
No, I think some background. Okay. Now to just take it further. Okay. Like as what is the I think Mr. Lakshman, Professor Lakshman is again saying, what is the minimum investment to start IBM COE in a college?
Sir, we'll not let money come into our way, let me say that. So we're very open, like I said. I think one other person also had that similar kind of a question.
Sure.
Mr.
I will discuss with you, sir, and about the various models. Okay, and I've also shared my number and my email address. Okay, so that we can continue this discussion beyond this session. Okay. Now, as we come to the I think towards the end of this session, okay, two things. One is Mr. Devkant shared a schedule. Okay, so if any college opts for the IBM career education model by and we get into a sign up by the end of March, your faculty will have access to the free training. Okay, this is a free training for the faculty of your college. Okay, so these are the trainings that are upcoming from like maybe from the March onwards: cyber security, blockchain, IoT. These are the trainings that are coming up, and these are very flexible, 3 hours training per day, weekdays in the evening, normally between 5:30 to or 5 to 8 at that kind of time. And your faculty can attend these trainings free of cost and get upgraded to these skills. Okay. The only requirement is you should sign up for the IBM career education for your institution, and that enables your faculty to get these kind of trainings free of cost. Okay, so that's one big value add for you to get a sign up done in the next month. Okay, in a month's time from now. So this will be a very good extra complimentary thing that will be available to you. And in addition to that, these trainings will enable you to get an IBM badge. Correct, Mr. Devkant?
Yes, correct.
Correct.
Absolutely. You get an instant badge actually. Correct.
So the faculty will get an IBM badge, which will be a value add for his skills as well. So I think see what's best about the IBM relationship is it's not only the students, it is your teaching staff and your institution. Okay, as a brand, it's a complete solution for you. Okay, that's where it stands out with respect to the other OEMs which offer similar kind of programs. Okay, so at the end, I think if there are any no more questions or any other clarifications required, I would like to thank each one of you for joining us and taking out your time, because I know, as Mr. Devkant put it, these are challenging times. There are online, there are so many other issues that keep coming up. Each day there is some new development happening somewhere. Okay, so these are very uncertain times, and in these times you have taken out time and joined us. I thank you, each one of you. Thank you, Mr. Devkant, for your time and valuable inputs. If it is possible, if you could just switch on your camera for a minute, I would take a screenshot, and it will be like a group photograph virtually. Okay, we may not be able to be there together, but at least we can take a group picture virtually. If it is possible, for a couple of minutes, if you could switch on.
Yes, sir.
Wherever possible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I will just click this picture so that comes. I'm the photographer. Thank you. Let me just put it and see whether it has come. Thank you. So thanks everyone for joining, and it has been a pleasure for us to handle this webinar, and I'm sure it has added some value to you, okay, in your area of work. And we hope to continue to be in touch with each other, and we will interact further. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.